Implementation of technology use within their curriculum. School sites that I worked with were Rio Hondo, Price, Rio San, and Carpenter. And through those years, I worked through just supporting and sitting with collaboration with grade levels and curriculum and supporting the teachers on the use of technology within their classroom. After that, I got the opportunity to become the IB coordinator to our dual language IB school, Carpenter Elementary, where I worked with my principal there, and we developed a program and we implemented it and continue to support the growth of the dual language program in our district. A phenomenal experience that I'm really glad that I get to bring with me to have seen the program grow, develop, as well as expand into our other schools that we have it now was definitely a blessing that definitely prepared me for my very first position as a vice principal here at Gallatin Elementary. I am very excited to be a Gallatin Grizzly. As Mr. Sid said, we are community members. So I live right around the corner from Mr. Sid. And we discovered that one day while we were discussing about meeting up and when we were going to have our first meeting together. You often will find me with my family. We are 4 girls that all grew up in Downey Unified. We went to Real San Gabriel, and that's where our educational career, or I would say learning, began. And so it was really special for me that when I finished teaching, I was at Real San Gabriel, where I first began as a kindergartner, and I closed off my years as a classroom teacher, as a 5th grade teacher at Real San Gabriel. My kids all went through as well the same schooling as I have, and I have my youngest, I have 3 kids. I have a 15-year-old, I have a 13-year-old, and I have a 10-year-old. So I am on my very last year of elementary school, and I've been living the elementary school years for, it seems like it's been forever. But at this point, I'm at the tail end and I'm truly enjoying it. Please, parents, do know this. My why will always be every single kid that walks on our campus, because I see my children and every single child that I interact with. My high fives, my hugs, my smiles, make it a great one, make it a good day. All of my words of wisdom or advice or just support for our kids always comes from, I would do it for my kid and I would do it for anybody else's kid. So they are my why, my kids, and I see my own children and every single one of those students that walk in through our gates and through our classroom doors. I also am a parent that has attended a parent orientation and getting to just prepare. For me, it's my last year of elementary, and for many of our families, it's our first time. And please know that I know that feeling. If it's your oldest and your first, the nerves, they're real, and I know, but please know that we are here to always support our families and to ensure that our students are safe and that our students grow and develop in the routines and procedures that will help them become successful students through all their academic years. So once again, thank you for joining us this evening. I am very excited to begin my journey as a vice principal here at Gallatin Elementary. Thank you, Mr. Sid.
Thank you, Mrs. Barrera. You're amazing, and an honor to be able to do this work together, and the amazing Gallatin staff that is here. We have followed tremendous leaders in Dr. Estevez and Dr. Stanley, and in our first weeks connecting with staff here, we know that this place has been leading an amazing legacy, and we're honored to come in and continue that tradition. As we get started this evening, we thought no great way to truly get this meeting started by hearing from the beautiful people that really make the magic happen here. And we know it's definitely teachers and staff. We would never underscore the amazing work they do, and we're forever grateful. But we want to focus specifically on our students. Those are, as Mrs. Barrera said, our why. It's why we get up each day. So we want to hear from them as to what makes Gallatin tick and why this is such a special place.
Gallatin Grizzlies believe, achieve, succeed. Students believe in themselves, have a growth mindset, take academic risks, and are kids of character. Gallatin's culture of continuous reflection and innovation positively influences students' academic and social emotional well-being. We believe in establishing a positive learning environment that values academic and social emotional needs. Students are empowered to determine how they want to learn and display their knowledge. We achieve by providing 21st century learning opportunities for students, staff, and community by focusing on a connected, collaborative, and creative learning environment. We succeed by focusing on a growth mindset and developing citizens of strong character that are innovative, globally competitive, and lifelong learners. The lessons our Grizzlies learn build the foundations for our students' amazing futures.
Gallatin helps me believe in myself by pushing me to be my very best. All of our friends are really kind, so whenever we are stuck on a question, they help us, or whenever we don't think we can do it, they say we can.
Gallatin can help us believe in ourselves by having teachers and friends there when we need them most.
Well, my teachers help me have a growth mindset and to continue to try when things get difficult.
And well, all the staff is amazing. They will help me in whatever my goals are.
Gallatin helped me achieve my goals because they help me get a lot of opportunities to do like educations and help me get smarter in life.
Gallatin helps me to succeed to my goals by giving me an education of all types of subjects.
Gallatin helps me succeed because even though the work might be hard, the teachers always can make it a little bit easier.
And I feel proud of myself.
Thank you, awesome Gallatin students, for reminding us of the amazing work that happens here each day. Next, you'll see that school starts this coming up Wednesday, August 16th, and this reminder is going to come up multiple times in our presentation because it's something we really want to make sure our families see. And TK to K will be from 8:30 to 11:55. First through fifth will be from 8:45 to 12:10. And in just a few minutes, we will highlight our breakfast, our lunch, and all of the exit drop-off locations so you know exactly what to expect, not only on the first day, but for each day for this coming school year. Next, I would like to introduce our amazing PTA president. Just in the few weeks being here at Gallatin, I've had the honor to spend time with her and our PTA board. They definitely work tirelessly. I'm telling you, coming here, I really feel like I've won many, many things. And one of them is our PTA for their hard work and diligence. And so I want to turn the floor over to Bianca Farina to share with you how you can be engaged and involved in our Gallatin PTA.
Thank you, Mr. Sid. Hi, everyone. Good evening. It's amazing to see 135 families on tonight. That's awesome. Like, that's a big round of applause. And then this morning we had, well, from what I checked, we had 119. So that's a big community that we already have. So yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Bianca Farina, and I am your president this year. This is my second year serving as PTA president at Gallatin. And I just wanted to give a little insight on what our PTA does. So if you haven't already joined, it is $10 membership. And PTA is not just fundraisers and bake sales. We need you. You are the P in PTA. And so we need you to help us pave the way. We do over 20, 30 events throughout the school year. So as far as volunteers, if you have time, whether it be an hour to 5 hours to 30 minutes of working at home, we'd love to have you. It's really important to kind of be a part of the community so that you can have a voice. We do have our association meetings every month on the second Tuesday, and it's at 7 p.m. in the Grizzly cafeteria. And we last year were #1 in the district for our membership milestones. We had over 900 memberships, and that is amazing. So we would love to have that same opportunity this year. And so I don't know if you saw last year with our principals, we taped them to the wall, we had them slimed, we had them dressed up. So we are excited to have all these new activities for our new principals. So if you have any suggestions, please reach out and let us know. So it's our milestone every 100. And we're going to stick with the PTA theme this year, and it's Come Along for Our Adventure. And it's really just about bringing hope, helping out everywhere. And one thing that I do want to highlight is we received a recognition for the National School of Excellence. So this is an amazing award that our PTA has received. Last year, we worked tirelessly on trying to show how we demonstrate community, how we foster a supportive learning environment. So this is an opportunity to shine. And if you're great at crafts or, planning or taking pictures or just being involved in what goes on in your child's education, please feel free to join. Our first activity is Ice Cream Social, and that's going to be on August 24th. And we are still pending on the time, so we'll definitely be sending out some information about that. So if you don't already follow us on Instagram, please do so. And if you are a new parent for our TK and Kinder parents, on Monday when we have the play date, our PTA will be there as well. And we'll be able to answer any questions, have some tissues for you if you need a shoulder to cry on, because we all have this. I'm a parent of 4 kids. I'm also a teacher in Downey Unified School District. My husband's a teacher at Downey Unified. I've been teaching for over 15 years. So I love education. It is my why. Just like Ms. Barrera said, I treat my children or my students just like my children. So on Monday, we will be offering spiritware. So if you would like to purchase spiritware as well for our new kiddos, and then we'll be sending out flyers within the next 2 weeks for all that information. Like I said, our first association meeting is on September 12th, and we actually have one position available, and it is the Director of School Spirit. So if you're interested in running for this position, I will put our email address in the chat so you can email your intent to run. And if there are more than one person willing to run, we'll have a vote in that meeting. And even if you can't hold the position, like I said, we still need volunteers. I don't know if you know, but the yearbook that we do, it is run by PTA, puts it on. So everything is done by us, and we are volunteers. We are parents who have full-time jobs, but we also love being involved with our kids' school. So another thing that we have coming up is the Cans for Kindness. That's going to be in the first 2 weeks of school. And if you're not familiar with where this goes, it's in the Helps Room at the Apollo Park. And it serves the 13 elementary schools, the 4 middle schools, and the 3 high schools and all their families. So if they're needing any food or assistance, that's where all that goes. And we're working on being able to get cash donations if you don't want to send bags of cans. So we will send some correspondence out with that. So the screen that you're looking at, it's basically just an infographic of everything that we do. In order for us to pass any votes or spend any money, we need you. We need people. We need a quorum. So that is over 17 members. And so this is where you vote. This is where you hear the budget. And it's a really great opportunity for other parents to meet other parents. We have translation as well. So if that's something that you're worried about, we will definitely be able to do that. And I think the next slide, what was the next slide on? Okay, so that one is our totem. So if you would like to join PTA through our online portal, there's also QR codes that we'll be sending out. And I believe you'll be getting a copy of this PowerPoint, and you'll also be able to see it in our Instagram and Gallatin's Instagram. We also have a website, and all you have to do is just click on it, and it'll take you directly to our membership. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'll be there Monday. I have a TKer starting as well. I have a 2nd grader and a 5th grader. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you again, Bianca, for your
Thank
amazing
you.
work. And again, I want to call out the recognition that our PTA just received. It really is a prestigious award. Again, congratulations for an amazing effort. And in the coming days, we're going to celebrate that as a school. And those are things that we want to remember as we move forward as a community. We want to stop at times and celebrate our successes and then continue to push forward to the next level and continue to do even greater things. Again, first day of school, Wednesday, August 16th. It is a minimum day for all of our students. TKK 8:30 to 11:55 a.m. And then 1st through 5th, again, 8:45 to 12:10. We are going to highlight something specific in this slide. TKK, when the parents walk their students to their classroom, They'll walk into the classroom briefly to hear from their teachers, and then we'll walk over to the cafeteria to hear Mrs. Barrera and I do a specific TKK orientation for those incoming students, as many of them are new, and we've got some specific information that we want to be able to get to those families so that you have a successful school year here at Gallatin. So breakfast available the first day of school. I'll go into meal things in just a few moments. Gates opening at 8 o'clock. Mrs. Barrera in just a little bit will highlight our entry points and times when students can enter. We are inviting families on the first day to walk their students to the classroom. You will not be able to go into the classroom unless you are a TK kinder parent. All other families will be asked to exit campus as soon as possible so that we can secure our campus. And then, of course, we invite you to return for pickup. We'll review those locations and times in just a moment at the end of the school day. Lunch is also available on the first day of school as well. And just, I guess, a quick highlight before I turn over to Mrs. Barrera. Again, an amazing thing in our state and specific to our district is that all students have breakfast and lunch, and it's free. There's nothing that they need to do specific other than filling out the form. We're going to review that for you, but really want to invite all of our students to take advantage of that. You're welcome to actually eat breakfast before you come. And you're certainly welcome to send, a lunch with your child, but meals are here and available. Our cafeteria staff do a tremendous job. We have a brand new cafeteria manager, just met with her yesterday. She is definitely motivated, super positive and ready to serve our community. We're excited about the work she's going to do with her staff in serving our staff and our students.
Thank you, Mr. Sid. Going through now to let you guys know about your child's classroom assignment. There's a lot of really important slides that are going to sound a little redundant from moving forward, but I do want to just make sure that the message becomes clear to our families. Even if it's repeated, hearing it again will be helpful. So that here, classroom assignments. Please know that classroom assignments won't be available for families to access until Monday, August 14th at 4 p.m. And you will be doing that through parentconnection.dusd.net, and you will be able to see their parent portal. At this moment, we are still working on balancing the classrooms. We're still working on all the enrollments and the registration verifications that are still coming in. And so nothing is finalized until Monday, 4 p.m. So please know that on Monday, 4 p.m., the class your child has, that will be the assignment they have. Something to note for our families that still have not completed the registration verification online. We have moved all of our registration to online platform. So please make sure that if you have not completed the verification online, your child's teacher will not be assigned to them until that is complete. Do know that I myself as a parent had to complete it. It doesn't take more than 10 minutes, at the most maybe 15 if you're adding new documents, but it really is an update of what you have in the system already. It allows you to add any that you would need, or it would allow you to add any emergency contacts that you would need to, or maybe change your home address or a phone number that may have changed. But as I said, it should not take more than 10 to 15 minutes for our returning families. So please take the time to complete your registration verification just to ensure that your child's teacher can be assigned to them.
Mrs. Barrera, I want to just quickly highlight the previous slide of classroom assignments. The one thing I just want to be able to share with our parents so that you do hear it from us is that classroom assignments typically within the first month per board policy is considered tentative, as we may be realigning classes. We're not saying that we're doing that, but we do monitor our attendance very closely to see if any changes need to be made. It is our interest to make sure that when a child is placed in a class that we do our very best to leave them there as they are starting within the first few weeks, gaining momentum, learning the classroom procedures and community. But there may be times that something may happen with a decision with classroom assignments. So we do want parents to know that they are tentative, again, with our interest to keep them as is. And we also want to ask our families within that first month too, to please not ask for a change of teacher. Our staff here have worked very diligently and very hard to put together classroom assignments. This was also done under the leadership of Dr. Estevez and Dr. Stanley, and we want to come in as the present leaders and respect the work that they did to carefully make sure that all of our students are in classrooms that our teachers feel are best fits for them. So we thank them and we thank our staff, and I see some of them on our call today. So thank you guys for that work. We want to honor that. As we're moving forward, I can assure you our staff here is marvelous, and any teacher that you're assigned to, you will have a great experience.
Thank you, Mr. Sid, for that clarification. To this slide right here gives us a little bit more on just making sure where we go when we do the registration verification. It is a parent connection. As we stated earlier in the beginning of the presentation, you will get a copy of this slide deck. And so all of the hyperlinks that are on this deck, you will be able to click on, and it will take you automatically to the informational or the website that you need to go to complete your registration. Right here in front of us, we have our daily schedule, and you will be hearing us talk about the daily schedule a lot at the beginning because our TK and our kindergartners have a different schedule the first 8 days. So just so you get an idea, what you're seeing here is really what the daily schedule looks like once everything is up and running full force. So TK and kindergartners will be at school daily, not the first day of school. This is daily. It is August from 8:30 to 2:35 p.m. A little side note right there, you can see where it says TK Kinders from August 16th to August 25th. They are all minimum days for our TK and Kinder students, 11:55 a.m. dismissal. Their regular daily schedule, full day, will not begin until Monday, August 28th. These first 8 days allow so much routines, procedures, and just getting to know you activities with our kindergartners to help them, and TKers, I should say, to help them transition into the day-to-day activities that are required of them once they sit in there and once they come in and they're sitting there for their full day between 8:30 and 2:35. So just be aware that if you're a TK Kinder parent, the first 8 days will be all minimum days. Reminders will be sent through the different communication apps that we use and emails, but for right now, for you to hear, just know that the first 8 days, you are at minimum days. After that, when we start on August 28th, you are on this daily schedule, which is 8:30 to 2:35. If they come past 8:30, they are tardy. First through third grade, their day is 8:45 to 2:50 p.m. There is a 15-minute difference between TK Kinders and really the rest of the school. Please note that if any first through fifth grader comes past 8:45, they are considered to be tardy. And then we've got the fourth and fifth graders that start at 8:45, same time as first through third, but they end at 3:15 p.m. Every Tuesday, and I'm going to say it again, every Tuesday, even if we have the Monday off, because we do tend to have lots of Mondays off, that following day is a Tuesday. It is an early out day. We have early out days embedded within our calendar for our teachers to have professional learning time, as well as meetings and collaborations with their grade levels. And we have this across the district. Every school site has their different days, but for here at Gallatin, it is Tuesday early dismissal. And if you have a TK and kindergartner, they will be dismissed at 1:45. And then if you have a first through fifth grader, they get dismissed at 2 p.m. I will go over where the pickup and drop-offs are of the school, but for right now, if you have the daily schedule. Wednesday, August 16th, which is the first day of school, all students, TK Kinder, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, will have a minimum day schedule. So we got 11:55 dismissal for the TK Kinder, 12:10 p.m. for the first through fifth graders. Now, this schedule here includes the before school. If we have some families that breakfast is going to be something they're going to want, this slide right here is important for you. If you're a family member that needs to make sure that you get your child at school as early as you can, but with gates open and they're safely inside, this is the slide for you. If your child is coming in to have breakfast, TK through 5th grade, they enter the bell gate. And the next slide, I will show you where all these gates are if you're not familiar with it. But please know, breakfast, you are able, all grade levels come in at 8 o'clock, between 8 and 8:25. So anytime between that window, they can come in and get breakfast in the cafeteria. Once they're in the gate, we have support staff, as well as myself or Mr. Sid. We will be, especially a lot at the beginning of the year, as we're teaching them routines and we're teaching them the procedures on how to go about that morning breakfast routine. We are there to help them and support them once they come in through the gate. Students will come through the gate, go to the cafeteria, and then they will walk. If they are TK kinders, they will go to their kindergarten TK kindergarten playground. And if they're 1st through 5th graders, they will go to their playground. So please know, breakfast is 8 to 8:25. Before school recess, if your child is not having breakfast and you're just coming to get the wiggles out before they line up and start their day, if you are a TK kindergartner, the gate will open for the TK kindergartners at 8:15. They have like a quick little 15-minute recess before the bell rings. They line up and they make their way to the class. And if you are a 1st through 5th grader, at 8:30, the gates will open for you to be able to come in and have a 15-minute little, I would say, wiggle time and be able to walk off and get a little bit more transition before you come and line up and start your day. Please know, once again, we went through this in the slide before, dismissals every day except for Tuesday. TK Kinder is 235, grades 1, 2, and 3 are 250, grades 4 and 5 are 315, and every Tuesday, even the Tuesday after a Monday holiday, is an early out, 1:45 for TK Kinder and 2 o'clock for 1st through 5th grade. And TK and Kinder, once again, highlighted there, we are minimum days for the first 8 days of school. DFBO, we have lots of families, and actually something we have here at Gallatin that is new for myself is that we actually have 2 before school and after school care programs to support our families that need this part of their day. So for DFBO, we are meeting with DFBO tomorrow to have more of an updated information, but we did want to make sure that you were aware that our site coordinator for this year is Lakeisha Baker, and you will be able to contact Mr. Sid or myself, or be able, DFBO will reach out to you as in regards to getting everything started and set up. DFBO does start the first day of school. For our friends that are already signed up, they will be starting the first day of school. If you are new to DFBO, as I said, right now, this is the information we had last year, and Mr. Sid and myself will be meeting with the coordinator tomorrow. We want to be able to have more updated information if anything was added or changed, and we will be sending that information out. But right now, we do have what was last year, which is to give families an idea of what really goes on for this before school and how it's structured for them for the after school if they're part of the program. And once we get the updated sheet, we will make sure that our families do get all of this information.
There's a couple of questions in terms of DFEO, and you haven't heard. That actually goes solely through DFEO. So I know they will, excuse me, will be contacting parents. We don't have access or take over the responsibility of doing that. So please, I understand, be patient as they will be reaching out to families to let you know your status as to whether your child's into the child care program or if they're on a waiting list.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sid. And YMCA, you have their phone number there if you are interested in applying to be with the YMCA. We have their phone number and as well as the website in which you can go and reach and contact their information. And right here we have just a brief registration for you to see, not registration, I see informational sheet for you to see what they offer, PM Care, AM and PM Care, or just AM Care only. So please feel free to reach out to them if this is something that you are going to want to, if you're going to want to look into for yourself and your family. Breakfast and lunch, as Mr. Sid stated, we are really in a great place where the state of California does offer free breakfast and free lunch to all of our students. And what's really great about it is for our families that, it's one of those, your mornings are quick and you're running out the door, it's free. No need to even sign up for anything. But please know that when you're doing the registration, because I know some families have asked, but it asks us to fill out this lunch application. Please still fill out the lunch application. It will say, thank you for submitting. But it really, everything and anything you put on the application has nothing really to do on whether you're going to get free lunch or not. Free lunch and free breakfast is for all of our students, TK through 5th grade. And if your child chooses not to have lunch at school or not to have breakfast, that's okay. You can bring them at the times that the gates will open for just before recess or right before school starts. And for lunch, they do have table seating area for students that bring their lunch. But right here also, you will see our new cafeteria manager. Her name is Sandra Laverde, and she is so excited to work with us this year. We've already been meeting with her, and she's really excited to meet all of the students and is ready to launch on the first day of school with them. This slide right here kind of really is helpful for our very, very new and incoming TK Kinder parents. It's snacks and lunch. As they get older, the kids become a little bit better and familiar with this, but when they're first starting school, one of the biggest confusions we tend to have with our littles is the difference between their snack and their lunch. As we're teaching them routines and procedures, and as you, mom and dad, are working at home to teach them those, just know that we can use the same language. And so one of the things we really highlight here is that if you're sending your child to school with a snack, please try to show your child we're putting your snack in your bag and your backpack so that they know it's their snack. Because when they're little, to them, their snack can mean like it's their lunch, and then they won't they'll miss out on having their snack. And then parents will come and tell us that they didn't have their snack today, but then there's a little bit of slight confusion. So what we do ask, if you send your child to school with a snack, to please put it inside your child's backpack. Lunches, when they do walk in, teachers set up all of these routines and procedures with the students. There is a basket that they do have with their class. So when they come in and they are actually bringing lunch from home, they will be putting it in a basket. So it's separate from their snacks. So at recess time, when they go get their snack, they're able to walk out, go to the backpack, grab their snack, and go to the snack area. So helping them understand the difference between their snack and their lunch, we're doing it as well as school, will help them continue to create those routines and procedures to support them at school. And like I said, sometimes students become confused. And so this is why we're trying to mirror the language between what you're telling them at home and what we're supporting at school, and vice versa, because you will hear us, Mr. Sid and myself, talk about what it is to be a partnership as we continue to help our students grow through their years in the academic school years. These next slides are really big for our families, drop-off zones, and where I pick up and where I drop off my child. Once again, I'm going to say, because it can seem a lot of information is coming right now in the next few slides, this slide deck will be shared to all families. So please know that you can always refer back to these slides and have like a little reminder of what was said for today. So just so you know, when we go through them, if you need a refresher, we will have the slides sent to you after today's presentation. This drop-off zone is our first slide, and it's highlighted because this drop-off zone has always been a loading zone, but signs have actually been placed for the very first time. I want to say it was about 3 or 4 years ago that they were placed, where it does say that it is a drop-off zone. You cannot park here between 7:30 and I believe it says 8:30 in the morning. 9 o'clock in the morning. And you cannot park between 2 and 3:30 p.m. That zone right there is just for families that are dropping, the child's unbuckling, and they walk out. I was that parent that had to go drop off, and I had to get to my school site. So it was always really quick. Before I got to school, I made sure I did all the reminders. We would talk in the car. And as soon as we got to the zone, it was like, love you, have a great day, make it a good one. And they walk out, they close the door, and I drive off. That is what drop-off zone means. There will be support staff there, as well as myself, helping the traffic flow, because I am sure we're all aware that Brookshire Avenue and Gallatin Road can be very busy mornings and very busy traffic. So it helps us a lot when our families adhere to the rules. Those signs are there for the safety of our students, as well as for the cars and even the neighborhood families that live around there. It's to continue to keep the road flow easy, as well as also please know the signs are up. If a police officer is around, they will ticket you for not adhering to the rules of the road. So
Mrs.
once
Barr, can I
again,
jump in real quick? If it's okay.
yes, go for it.
I want to take this time too, and I know I struggled with this same concern at my previous school, which is exactly nestled in a neighborhood, just as Gallatin is. And we understand when these schools were built 50 plus years ago, they were designed for students of maybe 10 to 20 that attended the school when it actually began, and people walked. There were no cars. So we know, unfortunately, our infrastructure today isn't able to support hundreds and hundreds of cars. And so, it creates challenges that we're trying to do our very best to ensure that people are safe, you and your students. One thing I really want to express as your school principal is I want to challenge all of us, and it includes myself and it includes my staff, that we want to demonstrate positive traffic behavior. It is so very important. The way in which we conduct ourselves sends a message within our school community and outside to our neighboring community about the people we are. And I want us to communicate that we care about one another, that we're here to help, problem solve, and do right by kids. Our kids watch us every day. They watch when we lose our cool. They watch when we make mistakes. And sometimes I understand these things happen. We are not perfect human beings. But as much as we can, I want us to set an example for the kids that we serve and for your children to be the very best here each and every day. And we may not get it right. So along the way, as we're sharing things with you, if you feel like you have solutions or a different perspective, we're all ears, and we're always open to hear how you think we can best improve. But we understand overall, these are challenging things to address. We're doing our best. And I want us all to have the best attitude that we can, because it's for the betterment of our students.
Thank you, Mr. Sid. I appreciate that clarification too. Breakfast drop-off. So right here, this is the bell gate for our new families that aren't familiar when I reference the bell gate. This is the bell gate. This is actually the gate right in front of the drop-off zone. So the kids would be able to walk out of the car and walk straight into this gate. And as I said, there's support staff that will be out there and guiding them and leading them as they continue to learn the procedures and the routines of the morning. TK through 5th grade students eating breakfast may enter this bell at 8 a.m. So this is for the breakfast drop-off. Just so you know, for breakfast drop-off, 8 a.m., TK through 5th. Then we have our all-school drop-off. These are students that are not coming for breakfast. Okay, if you're not coming for breakfast, do note that we have 3, but it's really two entrances. And a lot of it is TK and kinder. The gate will open at 8:15 and they will get to walk in at 8:15. And by 8:30, then any 1st and 5th grader that is using the Gallatin entrance where the TK Kinder playground is, they may enter that gate after 8:30. All of our students, 1st through 5th grade, can enter through our bell gate, which is off of Brookshire, and that is where the drop-off zone is. They would be done dropping off and they would go into the school through the bell gate. There is no entrance to our parking lot for students to be dropped off or walking in through there. They go in through the bell gate, and there's a gate that leads them straight over to the playgrounds from there. Pickup. We have various pickup locations at our school. It allows a lot of safety for our families to be able to see more of eye-to-eye contact with teachers and students, and we can ensure that we are safely handing them off to their family members that they know are coming to pick them up. For our TK and kindergartner families, please know that I will have a slide that will show you specifically where your gate will be with your child's teacher when I get to the slide. But do know that right here off of Gallatin Road, there is that TK Kinder gate. The same gate they enter is the same gate area they come out of. 1st grade, they come out a little later than our TK and kindergartners, and they will be coming out, and they will be coming out from the same gate with our first from where our off of Gallatin Road. There is something that we will be starting with our 1st graders This year, we will be having colored cones out there to support our first grade families, to be lining up with a colored cone. And I'll give you, you'll have more information on that at the first day of school. We'll have signages to support you. And teachers will be giving a lot of that information after the first day of school as well. But do know that for first grade, it will be the same exit as our kindergartner's gate. It's just at a different time. And we will be having some colored cones out there, and you will see and know which color cone you line up at, and that will help our teachers be able to have more of that eye-to-eye contact with their families once they come to pick up their children, the students. Second through third grade will be coming out of the bell gate. So you will be able to see second and third grades come out through here, and then fourth through fifth graders will be picking up, or dismissal is outside of the youth hut. And I'll show you what those specific pictures look like. So right here, as we said, TK Kinder, 8:15, gates will open. These are students not eating breakfast, okay? We do encourage that once you know your child's teacher's name, that they learn their child's teacher, that they learn their teacher's name, as well as making sure your child knows their name, so that, you know, once they walk in that gate, as I mentioned, we have a lot of support staff, including myself and Mr. Sid, and we are often walking the kids at the beginning a lot. We're walking them to their teacher, to their line, to their color, just making sure that they are safely where they need to be. So it helps us if they know their teacher's name by the time they start school. You could even, if you wanted, write their teacher's name like on a little name tag or on a lunch pail or something that helps the adult support your student when they walk in. And I thought I had already updated this. Please know, yesterday we got confirmation that this was moved to Monday, August 14th at 4 p.m. So this is a typo. My apologies that it's not clarified here. So you will find out your child teacher's name by Monday, 4 p.m. On August 14th. TK Kinder parents, we are coming out of that Gallatin Road entrance and exit, but we actually have, if you can see right here, we have 7 classes coming out of 1 gate. So we extended it and we made it 3 gates. So 3 openings. You will see the one gate that is the main gate to the school will be the 2 teachers, 1 TK class and 1 kindergarten class coming out of that gate. Then we have the gate that is with the kindergarten playground. They will be coming out 1 kindergarten and 1 TK class. And then we will be having the last gate that is the one closest to our residents. You will see a house and you will see a wall and you will see a gate open. We will have 3 kinder classes coming out of that gate. So once you know your child's teacher, you could refer back to this slide so that you can see which gate they will be picked up from. Please know, safety is a big thing in our schools, in our community, and across the district. For our TK and kinder students, we do dismiss hand to hand. We ensure that as we're getting to know our families, we hand our students off to their parent and we start making those connections, eye contact, and seeing who comes and picks up our students every day. Please, parents, though, do notify your teacher if someone else is coming to pick them up. That way it allows the teacher to know that the student can say, I can say, hey, David, just so you know, your aunt's picking you up today. And you're aware and there is no confusion. And you don't get, I know sometimes as a teacher, I would always be nervous, like, oh, but your mom didn't tell me. It really does help if you do let the teacher know ahead of time. I know sometimes some things come up last minute, but if you can, please send them a message as quick as you can to let them know that someone else will be picking them up. Right here for our students that will not be eating breakfast, 1st through 5th grade. If you're someone that walks to school, you can use the Gallatin Road entrance if you're not having breakfast, a 1st through 5th grader. If you are driving them up or even if you're walking, you also can go in through the bell gate. So for the morning time, 1st through 5th grade has 2 entrances, the Gallatin entrance and the Brookshire entrance. So they can use both of them if they're not eating breakfast. And that gate opens at 8:30 for them. Pickup for 1st and 3rd graders. So 1st grade, as I mentioned, will be right here by the bus lane. Please know, families, especially if you're a new family, it does look like it's a drive in and drive out. It's actually our bus lane. No cars are allowed to be in our bus lane. No cars in that blue lane. It is just our buses that do come through there. For our first grade families, we will be having colored cones out there to help with getting to know your teacher, as well as getting to the teacher to get to know their families. So you will see signage out there the first day of school to support and help with that process as we're all beginning this new procedure this year. Second and third grade students will be exiting the bell gate. So you will be exiting the bell gate. And so our families will be standing out here and you'll see your child dismissed from here. And then our fourth and fifth graders, this is the youth hut that I mentioned earlier. They will be coming out of this gate. Please, I know I'm a parent of 3 kids, and at one point I had a 5th grader, a 3rd grader, and a kindergartner. And for that, I am grateful for this message here. If you have siblings in different grade levels, students can enter and exit from the same gates. If you have a 2nd grader and a 5th grader, they can enter the same gate, but just understand and know that they have different dismissals. And that's just the one thing you're going to coordinate, and you're going to make sure to communicate well with your child about, the dismissal times and the gates. And unless it's early out day, we do know our 1st and 5th graders, they all come out at the same time. Campus of safety. I highlight these slides here so that our families know we are a closed campus. And this is why we adhere to these times that we tell our families. 8 a.m. if you're coming to get breakfast, it's 8 to 8:25, and we move them to their designated playgrounds. Then 8:15, we allow our TK and kindergartners to come in. And then 8:30, we open the gates for the rest of our kids that coming in. And 8:45, we close it down. We want to make sure that our students are inside and safe. All entry gates are closed, and when they are on campus, they are always closed. All visitors must check in through office, and they must get buzzed in for entry. Please know that even if you're volunteering, even if you volunteered last year, I do have a completely separate volunteer orientation and information that will come out once school starts, but you will, even if you've already done the volunteer, you still will have to go through this process of coming in to check in to be a visitor on campus. We have cameras inside and outside of our front office to ensure the safety of who's coming in, who's coming out. And we also make sure we screen all of our visitors through our Raptor system. So you must always have your photo ID when you come in to visit our school. Safety drills, so that our families know we do like to make sure our students are well prepared, as well as our staff, as well as all support staff in case of an emergency. We have monthly safety drills that will cover the protocols and procedures of earthquakes, protocol and procedures of fire drills, as well as protocols of any lockdowns. These are practices so that we are better prepared and we know how to calmly respond to an emergency if it were ever to come. The safety drills are a critical component of every school safety plan, and all 13 of our elementary schools have a school safety plan. This plan is created through collaboration with all of our elementary schools and in collaboration with our Downey Police Department. Attendance. So our families know, I know this was really hard during a lot of the coming back to school in person, the distance learning, but we do know that the consistency of attendance is key to the success to any students. So please ensure that as long as your child's feeling well and healthy, have your child here ready for the day and on time. Be prepared. Develop these morning routines. If you're just starting the schooling years, start developing those routines little by little. Make sure you communicate with your child when you say be school ready. What does that sound like and what does that look like for you? Because I know in my house, when I say we're ready, that means we're walking out the door. It doesn't mean we're still trying to do our hair. And that was things, morning routines that you develop little by little, and they start, it just starts to become a smoother transition, especially as they get older and older through the years of school. Prepare your outfits and snacks and have backpacks ready the night before as best as you can. I do know we have many families that do sports, and sometimes we get home pretty late. So the best that you can, have them prepared, but do develop those routines to ensure that your mornings are as smooth as they can be. Please note that if you are absent, makeup missing assignments is important. So always be in touch with your child's teacher in what they will be missing if they are going to be absent. And one thing to know, please notify the front office to clear absences. We do have on our parent portal an area where you can actually report the absence instead of calling it in, which is really nice for any family member or even myself. Digitally sometimes works the best and easiest and the quickest for me. So if you're someone that has that same flow, please know that Parent Connect has that option for you to log in the absence through there. If not, please call in the office and also go and move forward and clear that absence if it was a doctor's appointment or if they were sick. I do want to still keep us aware that even though we love to have our students at school every day and on time and ready to learn, we do want you to be cognizant that if they are feeling ill, please keep them home. Please do not come on campus if you have a fever over 100.4 or more. This fever has to be fever-free without any fever-reducing medicine for over 24 hours before they can come back. When they have a fever, they are contagious. And what we want to ensure is that we are not spreading the illnesses around. And so please, if your child is sick and not feeling well, keep them home. Even though I know I said I love them there and we want them there, we also want to be aware that if they are sick, keep them home so that they can rest and get better. Other things to always look out for, symptoms like persistent cough, shortness of breath, sore throat, stomach aches, vomiting, diarrhea, headache, fatigue, or not feeling well, keep them home. And I know that we are already on our second year of moving away from the big pandemic, but it is out there and it's still real with COVID. And I know that families will still come across this. Please know that if you've tested positive for COVID, the school nurse will contact you in regards to the specific protocols on returning back to school. As I mentioned, partnership is huge. We love to work with our families, our teachers, supporting our teachers in everything that we do for your child. So please know that if there's any questions or concerns regarding things that are taking place at school, always first email and reach out to your child's teacher. When you reach out to them, please allow them the time to investigate. Sometimes things are lost in translation. If we could all remember that game of telephone when we were younger, it is always an eye-opening of how quick a message can move and change with just a small group of people. I know my son comes home and he'll tell me stories and I will call his teacher, and sometimes I get a good laugh because sometimes it is something that was just along the way. It's clarified, it's cleared, and we're ready to move on for the next day. But please reach out to your child's teacher, allow them the time to investigate. And if they need our support, Mr. Sid or myself, they will reach out to us and we will step in and support them. But your first point of contact is your child's teacher. Remember that we all work together to ensure that your child's experience here at Gallatin Elementary is a positive one, it's a safe one, and we are continuing to instill and ensure that they're college and career ready, globally competitive, and citizens of strong character through all their years here at Gallatin. And Mr. Sid?
Thank you, Ms. Bray. Did an amazing job, by the way. Love it.
Thank you.
Here at Gallatin, we want to continue to have pride in good and tight communication with all of our families. Presently, we're using, social media, and we're going to be reviewing those in just a few moments through our PTA and, of course, through our Instagram here at Gallatin. Email and texting is going to be a major part of our communication, but in our pursuits to really look at how we can build capacity and have even more effective school-wide communication, we are going to turn over to Classroom Dojo as an entire school for school-wide announcements. And so what that means is we do have some teachers on campus right now who are using it for classroom teacher to parent communication. And those teachers will remain doing that. It will not be a platform in which all of our teachers will be doing that. We're going to be just starting at this point, using it as a platform for the entire school, for administration, for PTA, for special groups on campus to be able to get information to our families in a very timely manner. This is actually the icon that you will see if you go into your app store for Android and or iPhone and download that, you'll be getting an invitation during the first week of school from your child. It'll be a paper copy that will invite you to join your teacher's classroom, and that would be the application that you'll need to do that. More information coming soon, but we wanted to let you know that we're going to expand another platform to be able to do school-wide information. Parent partnerships, Mrs. Barrera definitely touched on it. I'm not going to go through each one, but there's no doubt in order for your child to experience the high levels of success here at Gallatin Elementary, it truly takes a partnership. To the left, as you see, with the teacher, the parent, and the student. We all play a role in the success of your child. So when you have a moment, these slide decks will be shared with you along with the audio after the conclusion of our meeting. Please look through each bullet point again as important talking points with your family, and as we communicate together, the things that will help all of us help your child be successful. Supply list, this has been emailed out to our parents many times. We're going to continue to do that as well. We'll also send home a paper copy in the first days of school. If your child does not have or bring all these in the first days, it's perfectly okay. We know sometimes that these don't get out to all of our families, so there still is time, but it outlines on here by grade level. Our teacher sat down and worked very hard to identify what additional supplies would be necessary for a child to have in the classroom for their day-to-day experiences. If you have any specific questions or any additional need, please reach out to the school office and we can work with you one-to-one when it comes to the supply list. iPads, we as a district, very proud to be a one-to-one device district. In grades TK to 8, all Downey Unified students will have an iPad. They get computers as they move into high school. I'm also happy to say, and many of you noticed, that we are an Apple Distinguished School. We just received that designation last spring. It truly is a special designation because there's roughly about 700 Apple Distinguished Schools in the world. In the state of California, there aren't even 100 of them. So it's a very exclusive group to be a part of, and it's for the technology and instructional efforts from our amazing teachers. The way that we see iPads here is we treat it as a textbook. It should be coming back and forth every day with your child as they will be used in the class. We want you to know your child won't be living on an iPad every single minute of the day. We understand that there's value within our educational practices to do other things, but it is a main piece of what we will use as a child is going through their educational experience here at Gallatin. All TK, kinder, and new students coming into Gallatin will receive their device on the first day of school. If a student happens not to be here, it'll be on the first day that they actually attend.
I just clarify something in regards to devices.
Yep, thank you.
This question came up, and I think it'll cover the next slide as well. When they get their device, it is a device they have until they get to middle school. In middle school, they do get a new one because it comes with a keyboard and a new case and with different platforms that are set up for middle school. If you are having technology issues, just know, number one, we do have the insurance that allows families when you're having anything. Like for me, I've had exchange my son's iPad twice. He's a 5th grader now, and he's had the same one since he was in kindergarten. Once because he cracked the screen, that was a no-brainer. But the second one, the battery was draining a lot. We do have a place called iFix. It's off of Imperial. Our IMT has all of that information for you, so you'll be able to reach out to them, and they would direct you on what to do. But as long as you have the iPad or the technology technology insurance, when you go to the iFix, they run everything, they look it over, and for the battery fix, they actually were able to just swap out the battery and give me a new battery, and I was able, the iPad is running as new again. So any technology issues, please make sure to refer to the slide that Mr. Sid will be going over right in a few about technology help desk. As well, reach out to Mr. Jeff, who was our IMT, and he can direct you a little bit more information about it.
See some questions coming in. Maybe I can answer for the better of the group, which is fine. If you're having VPN issues, that would be a reach out to our IMT here at Gallatin, and he can support you with that. Same with chargers as well, to make sure that we get those for you. I also saw another message that said that a statement was made that iPads were to be flipped out every 3 years. To my knowledge, that actually is a true statement. I do not know where we are at with those students who actually were given iPads during 2020. We've not received direction yet. So it doesn't mean that we're not doing it. I just don't believe we're there yet, as typically at the beginning of the school year, the biggest concern is to make sure all of our incoming new students have iPads first. So hang tight with that one question, and Mrs. Burr and I will follow up to see how that impacts students that now have had them for 3 years. But our understanding is that is indeed something that should take place at some point.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you got it. And then again, you know, as school starts and students are coming back with their iPads, please remember to charge. It is so very important. When it's not charged, they lose out on valuable instructional learnings by not having a charged iPad. And make sure too that they're regularly updating their software in the self-service app. That's so very important. Something simple as I saw before in the first Zoom that I did this morning, I had not even updated Zoom, and trying to get in, it wouldn't let me get in. So those are things we all need to remember, that we're getting into the self-service and updating the things that need to be so that those apps can run the most efficiently.
Here's the information for the IMT that I was referring to a slide. So, Mr. Sid.
Thank you very much. So there is our help desk. They are awesome at the district to your left with their hours of support. They're really awesome because frankly, they give a long hours of support that are really amazing for our parents. To your right is our IMT, Jeff. He is here housed at Gallatin. You can call and or email him. He is very responsive and will get answers and support to you very quickly. Yeah, jump in. Yeah, I know you were speaking to Mrs. Barrera, so why don't you go ahead and continue? Thank you.
Okay, for paying for the protection plan on Parent Connect, you will be able to go to Parent Connect. When you have this slide presentation, there is a link for this that will take you. I can't see it right now on the screen, but it takes you for a video on how to do it. But when you're in your parent portal, on the left-hand side with the tabs, you have attendance, schedule, transcript. One of those says accounts. And when you click on accounts, you get a drop-down menu where you can choose what accounts you're adding to. And you would want to find the iPad replacement insurance. And they'll ask you which one you want. One is the whole $250 and the other one is the insurance, the $50. With $40, my apologies, I clarified that earlier, $40. So you would just select the insurance, and the insurance allows for you to be able to swap out the device if something were to happen. Please know that even though you purchased it last year, you need to repurchase it this year. You have to always renew that insurance every year in order for it to be active in case something were to happen to your child's iPad.
Thank you again for the clarification. And yeah, I think if there's anything that we can sum up, there's such value in having that protection plan, because as children, things just happen. Devices, unfortunately, just do things that we don't plan for. And it's just a quick, easy swap out, and it really helps support our students. The next slide here is our TLC. They've been an amazing partner in our school district for over 20 years. They support with things such as food and clothing and dental insurance and medical support, and the list goes on and on. So this is a place that you can call directly, or you can reach even out to us if you need a specific level of support. They really are the epitome of a community and making sure that people are supported. So we just want our parents to know this is a resource for all Downey Unified Parents, if there's any level of support, they're there for you any time of the day, and they're super responsive. My experience has been when we put through some sort of need, some sort of request, their response time is super quick. Again, this is just a review of social media that we use here on campus, handles, how to access it. We will continue to work super hard. If you go to our Gallatin website right now, admittingly, it's probably not completely put together. I myself have to do some updates myself that I've not had an opportunity to do. So you may see some things from past leadership, and it's perfectly okay. Messaging and information for the most part is pretty much on tap. I'll get in there soon and do a few updates, but for the most part, you'll find the updates to be up to date. And meal things in there as well as lunch menus and breakfast menus, and a lot of good resources. We have Mrs. Tanaka, one of our fabulous 5th grade teachers who does an amazing job on our Instagram. So please join if you've not. She really partners well with us to make sure that we're getting out all of our information. Here are our amazing office staff. As mentioned before, we have just hired a new office manager, Mrs. Jamie Feliciano, really doing some great work. She's here to support you. She goes over and beyond. In fact, she's here tonight doing our Spanish translation beyond her work hours. So that already communicates to us that she's all in, ready to help our Grizzly community. Jamie, thank you for everything that you are doing. And then we have returning the amazing Mrs. Lilia Martinez. Wow, what a treat this school has. She is an amazing, amazing worker. Is just really doing some good work up here in the front office. And we're blessed to come in and be able to work with her. She's really been helping us to get to know how to do work here at Gallatin. Again, just some information on how we communicate with our applications, phone numbers, hours, etc. And as we end, we just want to communicate again this schedule. I think we've probably put it up 105 times, but we know it's important because we don't want you to miss out on the daily schedule for our TKK students during regular schedule, not the first 8 days, but after our 1st through 3rd, our 4th through 5th, and of course, every Tuesday with the early day out. Again, we'll send this to you because it's a lot of information and we want to make sure you have that. In closing, I do want to say that as Mrs. Barrera, myself, and our office manager are new, we're about 3 weeks in. So we're still learning and growing, even though I myself have been an administrator for quite some time. We want you to know we're here to support you. We're going to do whatever it takes to make sure that your student succeeds and is supported, as well as working and supporting our great staff. But we do ask for maybe a little extra ounce of grace as we're learning things. We may not know everything. We may not be quite on top of things early out the gate because we're learning and growing as well. So if you'll extend that to us, we would greatly appreciate it. And we're ready to jump in on this journey with you. Happy to be here tonight to give this information to you. What we also will do in closing, just quickly look in the chat again, make sure that all questions have been answered, and then we'll stay on for a few minutes afterwards as people are exiting to verbally give some, answers to any other questions you might have. Our commitment is we're going to get you an answer. If we don't have it today, we're not going to pretend, we're not going to make it up. We'll go find the right answer for you and get it for you. So that you have the best information. But if we have it right now, we absolutely will do that. So on behalf of myself, Mrs. Barrera, our awesome staff who I saw out there tonight, our PTA, thank you for taking a few moments tonight to come to our Zoom and hear how we are jumpstarting the new 23-24 school year. It will be a great year.
And I just want to remind families, the slide deck will be shared with all of you after today's presentation. So I know some people are wanting, some of the questions is they want to go back to certain slides. This will be available to you after today. So you can definitely look and be able to refer back to our slide deck presentation.
Yeah, we'll get it out, email. I'll send a text with the link. We'll push it out. PTA, I know you'll probably help partner with us as well to make sure that's an avenue. And then we'll also get it through our Instagram.
And I did have a parent ask, if you were running late about pickup, I just want you to know, we don't just leave them out there. If a parent is running late, and we usually, our support staff is out there as well as I'm out there after school, and we ensure we do bring the kids into the office in case it is after the hours that we have our support staff out there. So we do make sure that our kids do get picked up from their parents.
All right. Well, thank you again. Have a wonderful evening. We'll stay on for a few minutes. We'll go ahead and maybe go into the gallery view and take the slides down. And if anyone wants to ask any questions, we're here to do that. Thank you, everybody, for your warm wishes and greetings. We really appreciate that. Mrs. Burr and I are ready to roll and give you our very best and show to you that we will be leaders that you can be proud of.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
There's no school uniform. If you're still here, I saw the question. It's free dress.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for your warm greetings. Really appreciate it.
I have a quick question. We have an incoming TK student. So in regards to lunch, if I understood correctly, they're having lunch that first week, even though it's minimum?
Yes.
Week, is that correct?
That is correct. So typically what we do, they're going to go to lunch earlier during those first 8 days. And I forgot to say it, but we'll get it out there. Mostly so that they can go through the lunch line, practice their little 6-digit PIN code, because that's going to be their number that they use. So that is something that we're going to work hard. We'll have a lot of extra staff in there helping, even doing something as simple as opening up milk, opening up the apple slices, because we know that's difficult for them. So there's going to be high levels of support to make sure that your children are eating. And walking around, remind them, please eat, because I know they want to sit and fool around. We want to make sure they're getting food in their system.
Okay, so just wanted to make sure it's during the regular.
It is during the regular hours, yes. So when they're dismissed, they will be full bellies, ready to go.
Really quick, Mr. Sid, I can't remember. I know how we used to do it at my previous school site, but I want to clarify for lunch menus. I know that they're on the district website for families to always see a month ahead. But is there anywhere else that's posted for us here?
So typically, I haven't seen it yet. Typically, the district will send paper copies to the school, and then we will send home paper copies every month with the children. I don't have any indication that it's not stopping, so I'm assuming that would be a second option.
Okay, perfect. I don't remember paper copies last year. That's why. So I always was district. So, but the district website does have a section for lunch menu and nutrition, so you always can refer there.
Celeste, Xavier's mom, I see a hand raised.
Yes, I just have a quick question. I know the first day of school is minimum day, but for the older kids, is the rest of the week minimum day also?
For the,
or are they...
So yeah, good question. So for 1st through 5th, only the first day is minimum. Starting Thursday, regular schedule.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you. Shirley, I'm going to have you help our other support, Miss Linares. I think she may need support. I would like you to.
Yes, that's fine.
Hi, I know maybe I asked this question early. I know I have a special kid that's going to come out in 1st grade. I know I asked it's going to be all this information is the same like special students. Like, for example, the enter, the time, it's going to be supervision for them.
Yes, yes, and yes.
So everything is the same.
Everything is the same. And my apologies that it probably wasn't clear on the images, but I'll make sure to include that and update that. But yes, it is the same.
Oh, okay. So just you know, I have my first well, my kiddos used to go to Williams, and you know, as I'm scared still. I'm still like, I don't want to go to school. You want to stay with me. But like special education is more harder, you know, because they don't know how to communicate things, how to say things. So that I'm really worried.
No, so
About it.
I want to put your mind to ease. We have great teachers and staff members in that classroom that will support your child and give them more individualized help. Again, perfectly neutral, and I validate how you're feeling as a parent. But I hope in the coming days that you can continue to feel better in trusting your child to us. Please communicate any special needs to the teacher so that we don't miss anything. We want to make sure your child is as comfortable as they can be.
Yeah, even I have a 16 and 70-year-old daughter, but you know, it's like my first one. So
Well,
I
we
was like,
understand. You're a mama bear, and
I guess.
we get
Yeah, I'm really scared. But thank you
Okay.
so much for the information, and we hope for a good year.
We are too. Blessings on you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then I have Miss Fernandez here. ¿Puede hablar, señora Fernández? Okay.
Hola.
Hola, sí. Su pregunta es que en DFBO usted no ha recibido información o no logró el cupo para su estudiante.
No he logrado el cupo, son twin, mis niñas. Y lo que pasa es que al momento de registrarla me ayudaron en la escuela, pero yo dije que solamente necesitaba el cupo después de escuela y pues me llegó la información es después de antes de la escuela y yo no necesito es después de escuela, ya que por tal motivo no tengo que me cuide a mis niñas y he dejado de trabajar. A ver si me pueden ayudar con ello, porque yo escribí al DEFO y me dijeron que hablara con el director de la escuela a ver si me podía ayudar con eso.
Ok, ¿puede hacernos un favor? Por favor, lo voy a poner otra vez aquí en nuestro correo electrónico. ¿Nos puede mandar un correo para nosotros dos con el mismo mensaje que puso aquí en el chat?
¿Cuál es